Hello and welcome to the Scriptcase video. My name is Jamie Oates and I am your host today. Today's topic is the bus and ticketing system, which includes a QR code as well as the payment option via PayPal. Now, this system was originally developed by Sergio over on our Spanish side. So I'm going to show you where you can see, first of all, the original videos. Yes, they are in Spanish. I watched them myself in mute, and then just follow the steps through, and it's usually simple enough to follow through and see what's actually happening. And we are of course going to touch on the most important aspects of the entire project during these upcoming videos, and we are going to import the project, apply multiple languages and a few other options, as we will see in a few moments. So first of all, the original videos, if you visit our YouTube channel, and we have here our Scriptcase official channel, and when you come here to channels, you will see all of my colleagues in the various languages, where we have in Spain, France, Brazil, and in Spanish. Now, if we view one of these channels, we can then also view the videos that some of my colleagues have created on some of these platforms, or have created specific platforms. So you will even find different types of videos here also that have not been yet created in some of the other languages. Okay, so the videos we're looking at here is this one here, the Sistema de Reserva de Pasajes. Okay, so this is for, so the buses, Y agencies when you hover over it, and QR. So these are the original 4 videos. So if you want to follow how this was originally built right from the get-go, then watch those videos in mute. Otherwise, I am very sure if you've used Scriptcase before, from everything I'm going to show you over the next few videos, you will know exactly what you need to do, how the platform is built, as you will follow a lot of that through anyway. So let's have a look at the platform that we will be putting together. So this is, as I said, the original platform, and then I've gone ahead and applied multiple languages to this. As you see, it is now in English and not in Spanish. So I have included basically Spanish. The sign is Brazilian. It is actually Spanish or Brazilian. I'm not entirely sure because for me it's very difficult to tell the difference. And German. So I've added these 3 languages into the back end. Now they are then fully available, fully translated, and then we've also made various other changes within the platform. Okay, so I'm just going to switch off my password manager so it doesn't bug us every 5 minutes. Okay, so now here for admin, let me just see if I can remember the login password. The admin. So to log into the admin area, and we can see here we have the menu first of all in English. We have the black styling applied. We have up here to the right an exit button, and we have up here the language options. So I can change here the language for the entire application from English, German, and to Spanish. Okay, so we have here first of all for the bus platform, we have a countries grid, where we can view a list of countries. We have then also the stations grid, so we can actually manage our stations here. Now I have left the original station information that Sergio added in here, because of course it's a multi-language platform, and there are some choices that I have left down to you as the developer taking on this project. Okay, so I have translated everything to an extent that Scriptcase provides the simplicity for, and easeability to apply some of these features. And then when it comes to some of the database aspects, I've left that down to you. I will give my suggestions or how I would possibly apply this, and then that will be discussed as we go through the videos, and then you can actually change and apply further customizations to the template yourself. Okay, so with the stations grid, we then also have the clients grid. So here we manage then the clients. We have then the client login, the type of document that they've uploaded, their client name, country, and telephone number. Okay, we can add then new clients, and you see I've gone and made various changes to the forms and so forth. And we can then continue on and view, for instance, the bus brands, as well as here buses. So do notice on some of these I've gone ahead and added font or some icons. I was going to add them everywhere, and I figured, okay, in some cases some of you will not want them and some of you will, so I've added them in 1 or 2 just to show off how it's actually added, and for the rest, well, that's down to you. Okay, now then we also have our bus programs, so it's the journeys via the countries, and we have the bus programs entirely, so we can see here which programs are active, the trajectory or destination of each of the locations. You see I've missed a few pointers in this one, so they will need to be adjusted still. Okay, and then we have in the applications, we have the reservations, and we can see the reservations which have been realized. And again, I'll show you how to deal with this sort of translation. In some cases, having this as a word key, so to say, is not really ideal. We can actually have this as an icon, for instance, and then it's universal for everyone. And then we just need to concentrate on changing one or two datas within the grid. Now, I would like to highlight, of course, in the majority of cases, Google does go ahead and translates everything. I have it switched off at the moment, so that is, of course, the alternative, that then it translates the data within the grid, but then the basis of the application is in English, and the choice is, of course, yours. Okay, so we have then our new confirmations. Okay, so we can see here that the ticket was paid for, and the time it was confirmed, and so forth. We also then have the confirmations with the QR code. Okay, so we'll see here the travel time as well as then the QR code for our application. And if I then scan that with the phone, then you will see the data on your phone. So I would advise you to then watch the first video here. Sergio gives you a full presentation of the original project as he has built it. So all of these features, and he does even show you with a phone scanner how this is then looking on your phone. So there is absolutely no difference there. I haven't made any fundamental changes to the original platform. All I've done is imported it, added multi-languages, as well as then some simple customizations so that it's easier to use for a multi-language platform. Okay, so we then also have our bookings, and we have here an error. So we'll have to see what that is from. Okay, so that's the client ID. I'm not logged in as a client right now, so that's probably why I cannot see that. And we have then the confirmed tickets, which again is also here for the client ID, and I'm not logged in as a client, so that I also will have this error message. Okay, so the client, these two applications, bookings and confirmed tickets, these two would then be the applications visible for the client that has logged into this platform. Okay, so then we also have our typical security. We have our users table where we can then manage our users. So the username, the email, whether they are active or not, our applications. Okay, so when we add new applications, we need to then add them to the security, and we can do that here via the sync applications, which we'll come to in a moment, and that will then be added into this application list. Okay, so we don't add them manually, they're added here via this sync. Now we have here our groups. So this is a group security. So we have our administrator, which is what I am logged in as. And as I was saying, the two previous applications there which were not working, here bookings and confirmed tickets, they are visible for clients. And when I log in then as a client, I will have a client ID, and then those two applications will become visible for the client, displaying basically their tickets and so forth. Okay, so then we also have the group users and the group applications. So we go, okay, here we can then view all of the applications that the user can then manage. So for the group access, of course, right now I'm logged in as administrator. And then for the user, so if we have a quick look at that one, if I come back here to groups applications, and I change that to clients, and I go okay, we can see here then the applications, for instance, which are accessible via the client login. And then if I change this to say view 50, I can scroll down, I can see here we have the reservation, the client reservation, the confirmation, and the client details, as well as the client reservation and the client PayPal form. Okay, so these are all from the original project. These are all left there as they are. If you need to add further applications to the user, then you can just simply enable them here. And then do notice, of course, you have the private access, the insert access, delete access, update, export, as well as the print access. So you can define for the individual application which feature they are able to use for that user group. Okay, so for security, we then have the sync applications, as I mentioned previously. Now, I'm not going to run this now because I'm running it locally and it may pick up a local file. So when I actually publish the application live online, then when I add applications to the project later, I synchronize via this option here, and that will then add them into the other security applications that we have here. So first of all, the new applications will then be listed within the applications grid, which is here, and then also added into the groups applications, which we had just seen. And here we can then manage the access for those new applications we have added. Okay, so the only other things we've added here are the system, well, that are available here is the system log, as well as then the option to change the password. Okay, and you'll notice that on some applications I've gone ahead and applied some of the new features. Now, there wasn't a great deal of time because the languages, it took me quite some time to provide all the languages and so forth. I'm also going to show you how I went about that, and so that if you wanted to import this and apply more languages or other languages, then you can do so without any issues. Or of course you could just continue to use it in one language, enforce one language, and remove the language bar. So at the moment there is English, German and Spanish available here, and then you could use them within your own project. Okay, so the next thing we're going to have a look at is the database. Okay, so the database I have on my remote machine. So this is the database here. It is bd bus_buses. And we have here, first of all, the sec apps table. So let's have a quick look at that. Now the sec apps is where we then secure or store all of our applications names. So as I was just mentioning regarding the synchronization of applications into our Scriptcase backend, as well as then the security is then inserted here into the database. We have then here the application name, the application type, as well as a description. Now you see here that the description is blank on a lot of these applications, and that was because there was either no description or because the application was synced afterwards. So the security was created sooner than those applications. So in most projects, I would always suggest to create the security as late as possible within your project, so that it contains then on synchronization or creation of the security platform, it includes then all of the descriptions that you have included within the backend. So for instance, now I will show you here the project that I have here, which will be available for you to download, and you'll see that I've added descriptions on these so that you understand exactly what the application is. There was no need to translate the application titles, of course, because we have the applications themselves all in in multiple languages. Okay, so if we come back then to the database, we can then view then the next table, which is the security groups. So we have here the group ID and then the administrator, as well as then the client groups, the group ID 1 and 2. Okay. For the sec group apps, this is then the table we viewed there where we can change the view, print, access rights, as well as delete rights and so forth of each application. So once the application is synced, it is also inserted into this table. The application name is then included. The group ID is then also included. Okay, so if you have issues where a group is not available, you can double check inside the table to make sure the applications for that group have also been added to the security. And then if so, you will find them here, and then of course with the settings that you have provided within the backend application. Okay, so sec logged is where we then capture all of the security transactions on the application. Okay, so we are only tracking here the login here. So we have SE fail. So somebody tried to log in and it failed. And we have then the IP address. And then we have here an online IP address, which is then what Sergio initially tried out. So Sergio did have this platform online, so he was able to show you everything working, and I'm afraid I don't have that. I'm actually in the process of moving servers, so it is impossible for me to show the payment processing and everything working in its current format. As I mentioned in the original videos of Sergio, you have them there and you'll be able to see that there. So I haven't changed anything there, but I will be showing you how to update those settings. So here within the sec users table, we have the login, the password, the name, email address, as well as if the account is active. If you need to change the password, just edit this field and insert a new MD5 password, and you should be good to go. For the sec user groups, we have then the logins added here, as well as then the group ID. And then we have the buses table. So within the buses table, we are storing then the bus name, the license plate number, the candidate number, the brand number, as well as then whether it is active or not. Okay, we have then in the clients table, we have here the client number, the client name, their date of birth, their sex, their telephone number, their mobile and fixed telephone number, the client direction that they usually travel, the country, their user ID, as well as then the country of the document that they have uploaded. So the document related to the country, which we'll come to also in a moment. Okay, so then we also have the confirmation table. So we have here the ID confirmation, the reservation of the client for the station, and the station which they have reserved to leave or exit at. We have the payment confirmation, the date and time, and then the ID of the reservation. Okay, so we do have all of this data within views. So this is just updated for the user. So we see down here the views, which we'll come to shortly. So then we have the document X country, which is then where we store all of the documents related for each country. So we can then specify in the UK, for instance, you need your passport, your national insurance number, or maybe even a passport sometime in the future, an ID card of some sort, who knows. For them, Germany, for instance, you need your passport, you need your ID card, as we have ID cards in Germany, and you also need some other paperwork sometimes is also okay. It's like your phone record and so forth. So we would add those details into here, associate them to the country, and then we know which documents the user needs to provide for their account and reservations. Okay, so we have here the stations, sorry, status. So we have here reserved for the client, payment confirmed. And again, this is where you will want to apply your own languages. So I will show you how to, the best place to actually get the languages translated quite quickly and then apply them within your project. Okay, so there are a few ways to go around this. One would be to actually add maybe another row, another field, sorry, and we can call that then the language field, and then we add then the languages for each of these. So this would then be SP, for instance, and then for German DE and English EN. But we will confirm those as well during the setup, because there are some it's EN_EN to be exact, along those lines. Okay, but we'll see that during the setup. Okay, so then next up we have also the bus brands, and here it's the same thing again. This is all the original Spanish, okay, and here again we can add another field and add then our own language code or variations, or just change it into the language that you are going to use for the project. Okay, so then we also have the countries. We then also have the bus program table. Okay, so we have here the exit time, the trajectory, origin and destination. We have the bus ID, the station ID, as well as then the price of the transaction. Well, not transaction, but for the bus ride, of course. Okay, so then we have the reservations. So for the reservations, then we have the date time, the client ID, the bus program ID, the station ID, the exit time, as well as the candidate ticket number, the value, as well as then how that was then paid on, whether that was paid then correctly on PayPal. Okay, we have then also the trajectories or destinations. Okay, so here we have destination 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, as well as then the countries. So we can change then add various destinations for various countries, and we can then build our bus or ticketing system for transactions, for travel transactions and so forth. Okay, so the views, we have here the VW confirmations. Okay, so in here we then capture all of the confirmations we have here, as well as some data from some of the other tables, and then we provide that as a singular view within the application. Okay, so this then stops the user from having access to these tables. We don't need them, and we also don't need them in some cases. We can actually have a view where everything is combined and then updated in the back end. Okay, so we have here our client ID, the client name, the client number, their telephone number, as well as email address. Then we have the bus ID, when they exited, the origin, as well as then the station origin. And then we have the destination and then the destination station. Okay, the bus ID, the name of the bus, the license plate of the bus, the candidat. Let me double check what that was. And what I'll do is then I'm going to come here to Google and I'm going to search for DeepL, and I use DeepL during this project for all of the translations. Okay, so here, for instance, now if I come back to the project here, Cantidad, so I come here, Cantidad _ Silos, and then we can change that here from German to English, and it doesn't mean anything. So that's the problem with some of these abbreviations. You will find the majority of them are actually quite good, and they're all translated within the application. I do have this translated within the application, so don't worry about too much. We then also have then the bus activated, whether it's active or not, the station ID, the Stad or info, so that's whether it's the paid or not, because we have here the payment confirmed. We have then the transaction time, the candidate tickets, how many tickets they purchased, the price of those tickets, the confirmation that the payment was confirmed, as well as then the exit time and then the reservation station. Okay, so then we also have the view for the reservations. Now here within the view, we have the client name, the number of their document, their cellular number, their email address, the program bus ID, the time that they've entered, their origin, station, destination ID, so origin ID, station, and then here the destination. Okay, we then have then the bus ID, the number of the bus or name of the bus, the license plate number, again the candidat is a good one, bus activo, the station, the payments confirmed, status, the payments confirmed, the transaction time, and then the amount of tickets as we had in the previous one, and the value, and then again whether it's been realized on PayPal, so paid. And then we have the trajectories. Okay, so within the trajectory view, we can see then first of all the program ID, the time, the origin ID, the origin station, the destination ID, the destination station, the bus ID, the bus name, the license plate number, the candidat again, the brand ID, the brand of the bus, whether the bus is active, the status ID, and then the status information, as well as then the price here. Okay, so let's come in then into our application, and then let's have a quick look here what we've got here. So from root, we have here 3 folders. Then we have the administrator, clients, and security. Okay, so within administrator, we have here first of all the document X country. So what I'll do is, if I take this name here and then come here to DeepL, I'll place that in there. So my copy paste always takes over my keyboard shortcuts. Okay, and we have here documents X Paish. It doesn't really translate very well. Now Paish is country. Okay, so that's what that is. So then what I'm going to do then is document X country. Remove the C and apply that, and here then we have the stations, here are the countries, here are the country documents, or document country, however you like, and then here are the countries. Okay, so this is obviously the form, and then here we have then the list. Now, all the others, you're going to see that I've actually gone ahead and applied them. So if I come here within the other folders, we have here the buses, and you can see here I have here form insert edit for buses, form insert edit for bus brands, the grid list for the buses, and then the grid list for the bus brands. So all the descriptions have been added here, so you understand what each of these applications are for, okay, and exactly what process they work in if there is a process. For instance here, grid view 1, grid view 2, and then in this case there is a process that the clients go through or the users go through. We have then the clients tables for tickets. We then have the reservations as well as then the confirmation views, and then we also have the PayPal, a blank application, a control application, and then again we're using a grid view. Okay, so there's only a few applications here that we are going to go through today, and we are going to go ahead and start off fresh in a few short moments, and we will then start to import this project into our own Scriptcase, add the database, as well as then start the language process. So within the application from the original, we will be updating first of all the top bar here. We will also be changing the theme of the application. So I will show you how to change the theme for all of the applications in one go. We will be using the rapid edit a few times, as well as apply then the language or data dictionary first of all, and then application languages. So we will be using multiple variables for the application languages. So I will show you how to use those within your application and apply them to the fields, as well as use them within your code. We'll also change some fields, and for that I should highlight the fact that will be also using font or some icons for those changes, where we will basically change some text, which is an indicator text, for instance, say a status text, and change that for an icon so that it is more universal and understandable by any language regardless of, and that then also simplifies the language transaction or translation from one language to another within your project. The other things we will be doing is we will be updating the login page and including, so if I start here, come back here to security, and I run here the login page, we will be updating the login page as it is HTML, okay, and adding the free icons so that we can change the language from here. Okay, so here I haven't got the Spanish in there. We have the German and we have the English, but this is probably down to a key, which we'll see shortly. Okay, now with that then we can then change this entire project from English to Spanish to German and apply that then within our own project. I will also show you how you can change the project to only run in one language if that's really what you want, and then continue to use the application languages or the data dictionary to use variables for your language keys. Now, there is a big advantage over using that than having standard text within all the fields, and I will also show you that as we progress within the videos. Okay, so before we finish up this part one, let's head over to our Spanish Scriptcase channel, and I'm going to go here to the part one of the video. And I'll just mute that really quickly. And then here we have the original to download. So I'm going to go ahead and download the original file. So I come here into the shared space. I can then from here download the original files. Okay, so then with that I will then have the database, which has now just opened. So I just drag that here into view. That's just opened. So this is the original database, and then here we are downloading the project. Okay, so when we come back in the next part, we will go ahead and start to import the project, as well as then add the database into my local MySQL, and then we will continue and add the multiple languages, update the login page, make all of the changes that you've seen within the application, and at the same time I will be showing you all of the features and capabilities that Sergio has built into the platform, as well as the of course important aspects of the platform which you will need to edit so that you can use the platform for your own projects or for your own purposes. Okay, so thank you very much for watching part 1 of this Scriptcase video. I hope to see you again soon in part 2.